Good day, my friends. Good day, everybody. It's nice to be here again, once again. And this is your program, our program, Family Connect. And I'm always so happy and excited to reach out to you. Today, we're going to be discussing a very important topic. And this topic has been on for, who knows, before we were even born. It's been a problem in our society. It's still a problem. It's even getting worse. And before I let that topic out, I'll first of all say thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to those that come to view our channel. And we still look forward to your comments now and then. So before I introduce this topic, let me first of all introduce my guests. And they are seasoned, they are homemakers, they have homes, they are just what you call people in this business of what we are going to discuss. And it's all happening in our families, or some families are still going through those experiences. So in my immediate right, I have Chioma Openi. Chioma Openi is a mother, she's a businesswoman, she's been here before, but I said she should come back because what we had before, the discussion we had before was so beautiful that people loved it, and she helped a lot of families. So I said she should come back because of the topic we are treating today. And my far right, I have Dipre Makari. He's a family man too, who has experiences, he's happily married, so he can tell us how sweet it is, and then let us know what it means to be happily married and not have the experience we're having with some people that are not happily married. So let me just let you know the topic for today's discussion. It's actually divorce. In our society today, that is what is happening. So we are wondering, why is it that we're having increase in divorce? What is happening? Is it because of lack of understanding? Is it because of lack of love? What is it that is causing it? So that we can try as people to limit it and to have that which we should, because most children that come out from those homes, they have issues, they have psychological problems, and it goes on like that into the society. Even when they eventually settle down, they still have issues because their foundation was faulty. So let's start. I will start with you, Mark Dipre. Let's just look at this situation. Is it out of lack of love that this is happening?
Thank you for having me. In most cases, it's not all about lack of love. In most cases, it's like a trending stuff right now in this part of the world. When some young women these days see the Western world as what they wish to be, and as a matter of fact, the life they live in the Western world is more preferred now here in Africa, and it's affecting so many families. Some of them, before you get married, there's an agreement between you and your partner, and when you come to terms with the reality of the marriage, in most cases, endurance is not there any longer. When there's no your expectation, when you get into marriage and the expectations are not there anymore, so they decide to walk away. In some cases, some will endure to see out the marriage because of their kids. In other words, they don't want to separate for the children to live a life that wouldn't benefit the family, the immediate family, and the society at large. So in most cases, some good mothers or good fathers, they will stay put into the marriage and see that they stay together and bring up their children the way they wish them to be. Then in the other one that, like I said, it's not all about love per se. Love, if you start a relationship and you decide to get married to the person, to the best of my knowledge, I believe that you've gone far with love per se. And when you're in this marriage thing and find out that you cannot stay any longer, it's a difficult one anyway. It's really a difficult one.
You can say that.
The divorce thing is not a good thing, because today our society, the things happen in the young men and young boys and girls you see today that is creating havoc in this country. Most of them are broken homes. It is not helping matters. Because when the mother, because now what they even do now is the mother wants to take parentship from the father, and if the child doesn't see his father, most mothers, out of much love, out of being, the child does whatever thing they like, and at the end of the day, you cannot control the child again. But when the child is with the father, that man stuff in the house, the child is always afraid, my daddy will beat me. But that thing, when the father is not there, doesn't happen. So we pray and we ask whatever thing. If you get into a marriage and find out that the expectation is not what you're seeing, I'm not saying divorce is a good thing. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying if your husband is violent to you at home, if your husband is the violent type, I'm not saying you should stay there and he kills you. But the point is, the point still remains that if it is something that is not beating you, is not violent to you, and you feel you can endure the marriage and make sure that your kids come out and grow up the way you want them to be.
That's good.
I encourage you to do so.
That's great. Choma, you can hear what the prayer has said. So, he has really touched on a lot as far as love is concerned. So, what do you have to say? Or to add to what he has said too?
All right. Okay, thank you for having me. All the points you made it's very, very vital. But personally, I like looking at the positive side of life, you know. Yes, marriage is supposed to be a sweet relationship, an amazing one at that. But whereby two people have differences to the point that it cannot be reconciled. And moreover, if children are involved, why keep on staying in that relationship? Because at the end of the day, the children might grow up feeling this is how relationships and marriages are. But whereby you know it's going to cause more harm for your children, I think the best thing to do is to have an agreement and separate and decide who takes custody. Assuming the kids are still very young, it's always good for the kids to stay with the mom. Give them access to their father, because relationships a child gets from both parents is very vital for the parents. But another thing, there are some relationships that might even harm children more if they are there, and relationships that if they are not there will even benefit them more. So like I said before, I like looking at the positive side of things. There are children also from divorce homes that also come out excellently better than children that even have both parents. So it depends on individuals, that's how I see it. When you set your priorities right, set priorities for your children, considering the society we are in, give them their good values. It doesn't matter whether they are from a divorce home or they are from a home that is the two couples are together.
Okay, so you just said it, you just took it from my mouth, that it doesn't necessarily mean that if the home is broken or there's a divorce involved, that the children may end up not having something or not coming up and being what they should be. Some people, it becomes their strength. Some people vow that they will not have such an experience, or when they settle down that they're going to have a better home. Now, let me ask, this question I'm asking is, I'm looking at it from this point. For us not to have these things as is happening today, yes, people change, things can happen. You can't change anybody. You can only change yourself. Now, the question is, didn't they date? Was there no courtship before this relationship got to the point of marriage? Because if there was courtship, at least you would have studied each other a bit to know whether you can live or resonate with that person's character, whether you can stay together, so that you don't start what you cannot finish. So, Choma, how do you see this?
Okay, yeah, courting before marriage is very vital, because in that courtship period, you're able to, align your differences, know how to cope with them, have a lot of discussions that depending on what have a lot of discussions on what you anticipate to have in future. It's very, very vital. And it depends on how long the courtship. Some people might meet within a month and that is it. Some might court for years and yet they might still break up. So everything depends on the individuals. Understand your partner. Learn to compromise at times, but not a compromise that will harm anybody in the process. Tolerance is very, very key. And also have it in mind that you will definitely have different of opinions. But coming to a compromise, agreeing to whatever the differences is very key. That is where that understanding comes in. So whereby there's understanding, knowing you're two different human beings and knowing your goal while you're in that marriage, whether you court for 1 month, 6 months, years, everything depends on two of you. It's very, very important.
So in essence, we are saying that if you realize that during your courtship that the relationship is toxic, it's better you quit than pushing it and saying that it will work. Let's see, you're just starting. With time we will understand each other, we'll learn each other. So it's better not even start than to say, or it's better to be late than never.
Especially when they are honest about the relationship. Okay. Because a lot of people fake, they pretend a lot, and when you go in, you now see the real person.
Okay, so let's see here the priest's view on this.
Like she said, she has said the vital part of it. The courtship is not the issue. The sincerity is the issue. When you're courting with a particular person, it might be the man or the woman. The woman can pretend, the man can pretend. And at the end of the day, when you get married, that is when you begin to see the other side of that person. And in most cases, it is irritating when you find out that this person is having this kind of character. All this while I do not know. Is it now that I'm knowing it? In most cases, that's where the breakup starts from, because the expectation is no longer there. And when things like that comes up, you find out that the remedy is really, really difficult. The remedy is really, really difficult. So courting, I don't think courting is the issue. Courting is good, I agree. Courting is good, but the point is, are you courting sincerely? That's the basics. Okay. If you're courting sincerely, then the courting now becomes something good. But if you're not sincere and you're courting that time, you're courting and you just want the person in your life, and when the person comes to show the other side of you, then that's a problem at the end of the day. Yes, because we do understand that both persons come from different families. Yes, there's things that, like if I can give myself for example, I was brought up by a woman that as soon as you finish eating, go to the kitchen, make sure you wash your plate. Now I got married to a woman who her mother tells her, finish, keep the plates, rest for a while, then you wash. You understand?
Yes.
Now if I do not manage her, there will be problem, because if I go up with what my mother told me, we'll have issues at home. Yeah. So since she told me that her mother said, keep the plate, rest for a while, go wash. So I allow her to do what?
That's where the understanding comes in.
Yeah, so when this understanding comes in, you see it will be very difficult for both of you to break up.
Yes. That means because you are even open to learn.
Exactly. You need to learn from each other.
Yes. Like I always tell people, I said if you want to have a stable home and a beautiful relationship, your spouse, whether woman or man, should be your friend, your lover,
exactly,
your girlfriend or your boyfriend,
exactly,
and
still be
your confidant.
Yeah.
Be your mother or your father. So once you can have that together in one, then you are good to go.
Exactly.
And you know what? Most times the problem we have is ego. I want to be in charge. I'm the one in charge. So whatever I say happens. The way my mother brought me up or the way my father brought me up is better than the way you were brought up.
Exactly.
So when we eliminate that from our relationships and the way we look at things and become broad-minded, it's easier for you to even help somebody change without you even telling the person I'm changing you. And then you will see the harmony and the beauty. Beautiful. I just love this discussion because we are having issues in our country. Let's face it. We're having issues in the world. Just open the television and open your internet connection. What are you seeing? Divorce here, divorce there, divorce here, divorce there. And irreconcilable differences, things that you will see them and wonder, is this actually what happened, or it has been building up and then suddenly it lands on them. So what solutions do you think we can prefer to help eliminate this? or bring it to a level where we can say, okay, this year we didn't have so number of divorce cases.
Now,
which
the
we
drop
always
of
telling us.
20%?
Yes, or 20%. So what can we do to help with this? Debre?
It's a difficult one anyway, because today we live a life where some people will tell you, I just want to be happy. that's the normal language these days. I just want to be happy. You understand? And when issues like that comes up, most people, they don't go for advice like that. Although what works for A cannot work for B. What works for B cannot work for C.
Sure.
But in most cases, the young women we have today, most of them, like I said, it's all about the Western world. Because I remember vividly my mother and my father, the way they were together, even their differences. My mother stayed put. She stayed put. But today, every little thing, advices from different set of people, some that are not even supposed to advise will advise, and at the end of the day, you leave your home and walk away. So, with the things happening today, with the internet today, most of us now, we see how husband and wife will quarrel, they'll come to the internet, watch their dating in and outside, things like that still happening. And the Western world, what they've done there, where a woman can divorce 5, 6 men, and if she wants to get married again, she'll get married. Here, it's not like that in those days. The divorce today, the divorce rate this day, it's not like that before internet came into this world, or before the Western world was fully taken from. So the only advice I would give is, if we can still retrace our step back to where we are coming from. We are Africans, and there are things that we do. Yes, a violent man, I don't like that. It's very wrong for a man to hit his wife. But since that one, today, like Lagos State government now, they have a task force that if a man is violent, you pass through hell. So if some of these women, instead of, I don't want to marry again, no, I don't want, if you can come down and discuss matters, and if there's anything you should put in place that this is how we're going to live, if it means bringing 1 or 2 persons together with your family, with your husband, and say, look, this is what I want, this is what I want. Okay, we cannot do this 100%. We'll do 50, we'll do this at 50. Let's come to a compromise at any point in our discussion or in our decision. At least we'll go a long way. But a situation where we just say, when this woman divorced this man, what will happen? She's living her life, she's happy. Today, let's be honest to ourselves. Those women that said they are living a life, they are happy, they are not telling the truth. Let's be honest to ourselves. they are not really telling the truth. Because an African man is an African man. Let's be honest to ourselves. An African man is an African man. He can decide to get married to another woman, divorce, get married to another woman, divorce. Nobody's going to question him. But a woman, can you divorce a first man, divorce second man, divorce third man? It's not possible. So, the only thing is, we should come to a compromise. When issues like that come up, let's throw away our ego. There are times that you are right, yes, this matter you're right, but you just look at it as let peace reign. Let's just let go of it.
Yeah, so that's where maturity comes in.
Yes, it will help a lot. It will help a lot.
That's great.
So,
John?
Okay, what I really need to say is from in families, because we already, the damage has been done, there's nothing anybody can do about it. But the point now is, since we know, what values are we inculcating in our kids to tell them, nurture them? Marriage is not compulsory, but if you must decide to get married, know why you should get married. If you can get those things right, then I don't think there will be a lot of divorces. Especially unless it gets to a point whereby you know divorce is an option, so that both of you can live a separate life, fulfill your purpose on earth, and move on, instead of causing more harm to yourselves and your environment and people around you. But if the values and the reason why people should get married are inculcated in human beings, both male and female, then I think the world should be a very, very, wonderful place, and everybody will be happy, there will be peace, and everybody will be willing to coexist with each other.
I wish we can continue this discussion. It's very interesting. Maybe we'll have a part 2 of it to look at other aspects of it, but it's not a discussion we can end in 15-20 minutes.
Yes.
Because there's a lot in it. There is a lot. And we need to educate this present generation. We need to let them understand the values they need for you to have a proper home, a good foundation, and going forward to do things that will tomorrow you'll be happy doing. There's nothing as killing as being in a relationship where you are sad, where you every day you don't know what today will bring, you are afraid, you can't even talk, you can't even relate. So we have to come back for a further discussion today, because I know that relationships outside homes is a different kettle of fish from relationships that have to do with marriages. I wish we could continue, but we cannot. We have to go. But before I'm going to say a very big thank you to Chioma for coming. Chioma, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And the same to the prayer for coming. And I'm going to invite you back again for this so that we can wrap it up.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So my people out there, people that love to listen to Family Connect, you can see we just started the discussion. It's not ending today. We're going to take it further than what we just discussed. But I know that you will take one thing or the other away from this discussion that will help us, to help you even train your own children, to help you have your own home intact and build it further. Because when we have beautiful homes, happy homes, we can have a better nation. When we don't have those things, I bet you there's no nation. Because all of us are coming out with so much anger, so much negativity. But right now we need positivity in our life. The situation on ground calls for it, or else we are losing our humanity totally. So for you to reach out to us, you always know our channel, but let me just call out our email address, which is family.connect97@gmail.com. You can reach out to us, or you can write a comment on our channel. I'm going to leave this discussion for today here, and hoping that you will join us next time when we conclude it, the next edition. I remain yours, Chika Namani, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.